my passion to do something to protect the planet was, I think, very innocent and very small, where I wanted to make a difference in my community, to protect our environment there, to, stop the pesticides, to, take small steps, and work with different young people in my community and start up my work with the Earth Guardians, which is a nonprofit organization that is now working with hundreds of thousands of individuals all over the world. And it began with that, and I think grew into such a powerful movement. And my voice grew from, a little kid at 6 years old speaking on a stage about, education and the way we should teach young people to be passionate and care for the environment, to I saw that the voice that I had really began to have power in the world and actually be able to influence change and create and make a difference. And just the way that I saw a shift in the work that I do was huge, because I really saw, as I got older, I saw that the world was in a worse and worse place, as I continued to grow up, which was scary. But it always, I guess it was always a lot of reminder that the way that we use our voice is incredibly powerful. And connecting with other young people in particular, and looking and working with other young leaders as well, that gave me a lot of hope for the world that I was growing up in, is knowing that I'm not alone, knowing that I'm not carrying all of this weight on my own, that I really do have an incredibly supportive community and people around me that make the work that I do possible and make staying engaged and being involved possible. One of the first examples that really led to me believing that I actually had potential to create change just by the actions that I took in my community was in 2013, where myself and a whole group of friends were at a county commissioners meeting in Boulder, Colorado, where our elected officials, our local politicians, were deciding on whether they would allow, they would pass a moratorium on fracking, where they would ban fracking for 5 years in the state of Colorado, or in the Boulder County, and we were pushing really hard for that. Fracking is one of the most destructive fossil fuel infrastructure projects that impacts my community, affecting the air, the water, the health of our people, livestock, our ability to grow on the soil as well. And we stood up as a community and we're saying no to it. And so we were waiting for our politicians to do something about that. And when our politicians were starting up this county commissioners meeting, someone in the audience began a chant and call and response where, it was a mic check. So that person would say mic check, and then the audience would respond. There's about 800 people there, 500 in this room, and then there were 2 different overflow rooms as well. So there was a huge concentration of locals that were opposed to fracking. So everybody in the room was chanting different things to, look for clean energy solutions to ban fracking. And they couldn't get us to be quiet. They were actually slamming the gavel, and they were trying to get us to, to quiet down, to calm down, to allow the meeting to proceed. And the people wouldn't quit. We were persistent, and the county commissioners, I think there was 4 of them, left the room, escorted out by police officers. They were like, "We're not having it." And so me and my friends were like, "Well, what now?" So we actually got up into the front of the room. We were like, "Hey, let's go." We walked up and we sat in their seats, in the seats of our local politicians. Each one had their little name tag on it and everything. And we were at the front of the room. We were all calling for a ban on fracking. We got an unofficial unanimous vote from our community to ban fracking. So after that action, that was one part of several different things that our community did to put a 5-year moratorium on fracking in place. And there were 5 different communities and around Colorado that did the same thing. They got bans and moratoriums in place on fracking. And it was just a powerful way to see that, something as simple as that, something symbolic even, had an actual tangible impact on the way that my community functioned and helped protect my community for the last 5 years. And I thought that was pretty powerful.